Then they're going to just keep paying a lot of tariffs. If they said that, but I don't believe they said that. No, I spoke with Prime Minister Modi of India, and he said he's not going to be doing the Russian oil thing, so that's it. I don't know, but if they want to say that, then they'll just continue to pay massive tariffs, and they don't want to do that.
After months of tense negotiations and tariff threats, India and the United States have finally struck a major trade deal. Until last year, India was hit with the highest tariffs among emerging economies. This deal brings India back in line with global trade norms and removes a major drag on exports and the rupee.
The news about tariffs on India being reduced to 18% from the 15%, I think is definitely a welcome news for Indian economy. It's good news for jobs in India because every 1% of tariff in America means about $1 billion loss of our exports. And $1 billion export loss equates to about 100,000 jobs. So if 50% tariff had continued for 1 year, that would have meant that India would have lost around $50 billion of exports to America and about 50 lakh jobs lost. If not 50, 40 lakhs, 35 lakhs. So bottom line is that this deal, which has been announced today, is welcome news, I think, for the economy of India, for many households of India, and also gives predictability and stability for US-India trade and strategic relations going forward.
Well, I mean, again, we have to get a better sense as to what the deal truly entails. But if what the president says is true, that you're going to have tariffs come down significantly across a lot of sectors, then I think that in principle, a number of key Indian a number of key Indian products will benefit in a big way. Though again, I rather withhold judgment until I have a better sense as to what exactly this deal looks like. But sometimes it bears amplifying the obvious that America is a top export market for Indian goods, and India had been able to develop a series of workarounds to insulate itself from the shock of those 50% tariffs from the U.S., including its recently announced trade deal with the EU. But at the end of the day, I would argue that so many Indian exporters stand to benefit if they don't have to worry about oppressive tariffs coming from the U.S., a top export destination for so many Indian goods.
Trump also claimed India would reduce both tariff and non-tariff barriers and buy American technology, agriculture, coal and energy at much higher levels. Intense behind-the-scenes talks followed, with trade and foreign ministers staying engaged until the last moment to prevent a breakdown.
I've traveled all over the world with President Trump, and I can attest that his friendship with Prime Minister Modi is real. The United States and India are bound not just by shared interest, but by a relationship anchored at the highest levels. Real friends can disagree, but always resolve their differences in the end. Both sides continue to actively engage. In fact, the next call on trade will occur tomorrow. Remember, India is the world's largest nation, so it's not an easy task to get this across the finish line, but we are determined to get there. And while trade is very important for our relationship, we will continue to work closely together on other very important areas, such as security, counterterrorism, energy, technology, education, and health.
Every free trade agreement stands on its own legs, and we are having very good negotiations. My counterpart in the US and I have a wonderful working relationship and a wonderful personal friendship. We are working towards closing the deal quickly. Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable President Trump share a very good friendship, which is on record, and I'm very confident you will hear good news in the near future.
Welcome the announcements on bilateral trade following the conversation between PM Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump. This will create more jobs, spur growth, and promote innovation in both economies. It will strengthen Make in India endeavors and encourage trusted technology ties. The opportunities in our economic engagement are truly vast, and we are confident of realizing them. A robust economic relationship is the strongest foundation for our strategic partnership. This time, India walks away with real gains, better access for exports, relief from tariff threats, and a stronger role in global supply chains. For India, this is lower tariffs, stronger exports, and global positioning. For the US, it's strategic energy leverage and market access. But the real test seems to be implementation, because in trade diplomacy, announcements are easy, deliveries are not.